Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jam, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Y'all ready for this?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Give it up, go.
Welcome to the big show. Simply wait.
While your feet are stumping and the jam is pumping, look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. See, cause that's where the party's at, and you find out if you do that. I want a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight, make my day. I want a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight, make my day. Pump up the jam. Pump up the jam, pump up the jam, pump up the jam, pump it up,
The 25 breaks a couple of tackles. And look at him go! And look at him go! He could go all the way.
Hey, you, get out of our way because today is the day we will put you away.
It's fun to stay in the YMCA. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. They have everything for your men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys.
Let's get ready to rumble!
pump up the jam, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Aggressive, be aggressive.
Simply and fuego.
Well, there we go. What's up, team? How we doing? I know Deck is still rolling. Roland's I like how he's getting back. And he's not trading small caps yet, but he's definitely trading more, which I love, and trading a little bit bigger movers, which is good to see. So Shawnee is still trading. After the big start of the morning, I'm sure you guys know it's really hard for me to win a trade, especially at what we normally typically got at lunch. And so that's what I was literally going to go over to Deck's lobby right now and be like, Deck, be careful trading. This is where we typically get some sketchy movement. Minim, though. Look at Minim, though. So we have Minim right here, team. Look at that. Right to 4 failed, and this one right to that 435 mark. And I'm just going back to past chart history here. From yesterday was it yesterday? I should say Friday. From Friday. No. It was from Thursday. It was from Thursday of last week. When this started running out of nowhere. Or maybe did Minim have news? Maybe Minim have news. I think Minim did have news. I can't remember. Let's go back to it over on my side. I'm not watching it over here, actually. I can't remember. Did Minim have news? What day was that? The 30th? I don't think it did, right? Minim was, I think that was Minim, yeah, right. No, that was the one, that's what I thought, was the one with no news. I thought I remember that with Deck and everything. I was like, oh boy, here we go. Small caps are back. But like I said, we've moved so much in pre-market from literally, we'll just call it $1 all the way up to 10? Are you, huh? You just typically, most times, unless it's just that super or 2020, you don't run that much more. So minimum though, doing pretty good today. Again, if we can get over that 430 area, next leg up from 435, 440, we'd be up about 470. We'll keep going back now. Might as well, because we may keep popping. You never know. There's nothing running right now. And Minim may not be the last one. Minim, there may be another one, team. So do not be surprised if there's another one here in the next hour or so during lunch hours. But over this 475 mark, we could really run, in my opinion, probably through 5. Although 5 might see some resistance, but the next resistance, in my opinion, is not until 565. So Minim here on high watch, team. Here we go, looking like we're about to explode for more. That over Dex lobby, letting them know Minim to keep that on watch. That thing is moving. It's moving. So we have Minim here, team. Definitely high watch. This was Thursday's mover. Again, Minim, no news today, if I'm not mistaken. I'll click on it again just to make sure. I was like, well, I missed it today. You got some news today, you idiot. I see nothing today. I have nothing as well again. Is the no news? Alert that for as well. So Minim, team, halt up area. LULD is at 550 or 459. So ooh, we were just so close to it, and big rejection right there. So we still have the levels in. What's up, Taff? Will, how you doing? Sure, some more start trickling over as the man. Had a great day early. I'm glad he was like I said, trading some NVDA. I didn't know what he was trading really for the most part today. I was kind of alerting, barely paying attention, pressing play here and there to look what he was trading. But to come back right there at the end and see the 4 different trades that he was in, at least at some point in time, different contracts he chose, but NVDA across the board. So opening up the eyes again, which I appreciate. I love it. I love it. All right, what I'm going to do now is probably break down plays. I was waiting for Minim here, and then I'm going to break down other plays here. And here's Minim, exactly why I'm saying I would not trade this and saying be careful, 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 careful. All right, let me get into this. Sorry, team, and boom. All right, cool. Here we go. We good, Lisa? How you doing? All right, now that's chopping around. Let's go through some of these large cap plays over on Think or Swim here. All right, let's do that. Sound like an idea? It does to me. I'll leave that right there for a minimum. Area to hold, my opinion. Boop. This halt up price. The halt up strategy's been killing here recently, team. Paula talked about, and it was just, I don't like these up and down plays. What's the one we have to go back to at some point in time that could still run from earlier? Not EYPT, but SSNT. SSNT, this had a perfect halt strategy worked out. Forgot we're back in a 1 minute time frame, but this worked out on the first halt up. If I'm not mistaken, that first halt up, boom, look at that. Halt up right here came live. Look at that pullback like I preach and teach. Look at that. I'll move the crosshairs out of the way. Look at that. We halted up at high 773, low 774. That is money in the bank, my friends and family. And did work actually again on the second one. And it gets sketchier as we go up. It works great as we get to the second one when we get to that halty season. We're just not halty. We're not halty. We're almost there, but not there. All right, let's start with the SPY, the big daddy. I just alerted Index Lobby. Hopefully you saw the alert. I alerted this just not too long ago about the SPY looking for a double top. I'm still sticking to it, looking like it's about to get is a double top play. What was my alert about this? SPY doing is a double top. There it is, looking for that double top. There it is, there it is. And Lisa gave me a little bang bang for it. SPY getting close. Getting close. All right, so we have room up to that 456.50, 456.75 mark. Potentially, we break this high of day in market. I think we push this upper VWAP band up, and in doing so, we then touch this high of day real true resistance, which was right around 457.50 to 458. Okay, we get back into that area over this high of day area. But again, we made a pretty big move up. A little inverse head and shoulders at the bottom. I see in a 5-minute time frame. Possibly probably see in a 3 and a 1 minute as well. A boom, a bam, a bam. I'll put that over in Dex Lobby. SPY does have inverse head and shoulders as well. So we see the shoulder, we see the head, we see the shoulder. That's an inverse head and shoulders, which moves us back up. Essentially completing the move, which would be back to high of day. Now, what do we do from there? And what should we do? Or, well, what do you... Well, how should I word this? What, if you want to go long, what would you like, essentially? What would you want it to do? If you want a long, the bounce play and the support is coming in right now. So I wouldn't take this, right? It's not like it's push up to high of day. Now, all of a sudden, it does squeeze up real quickly to 456.75 in reverse, and you're looking for a reversal. I would say be a little hesitant there. And if you do want it and you like it, and I do like it for the double top, but only a quick reversal, possibly back to 456.30. Now, in doing so, what your long you would want, I don't know if you'd want to take that long because it could be quick, could, within taking profit. Maybe you want more, you get a little greedy there. And that's happening now. You don't want this to happen now. You'd want it to squeeze up, pop to high of day, let those shorters come in, and shorters, that's where you can come in and look for a reversal. And then you're going to want to take that profit shorters back down to 456.25, back down to 456. Because 456 is, as you can see, boop, 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 is your support that traders are going to see that needs to hold this. Now, would I say going at 456 right now? No, I wouldn't, Jerry. I'd say be careful. I'd say if you're looking for a bounce now, looking for that opening back to where we bounced right before the opening bell would be your first bet, plus the VWAPs there. Now, if you don't like that, you're really getting down to the meat and potatoes of it all today, which would be just a big pullback. And you're just sitting and waiting, which is 455, potentially somewhere in that area to 454.75. Another good short would be possibly if this trend line works out a little bit longer, which to me, it's you'd have to base it off this to make it look good. You'd want to base it off that lower shadow. That's your starter. There's your setter area. You'd want it to come down and get a bounce off that 9 EMA. Again, kind of what we're looking for at some point where bouncers would win, but that's also where shorters would love to come in. When you break that trend right through here, and you can see it's a pretty nice uptrend channel as well, right? That's a pretty decent, it's not perfect. I mean, even if you wanted to, you could be like, hey, let's start it from back here if we want to, right? And see, I see a reversal from there. However you want to do it, that's up to you, But that's kind of your uptrend as of right now with the SPY. And so I'll leave those two lines in. We'll mark this one as resistance. Boom, right. Real quickly, what's up? Real quickly. So I'm gonna go through these. So I'm gonna look at. Don't worry, I'm gonna look at it, Jay Webb. I'm gonna go through them all. Sherry, question on the million alerts. I know you had Tesla Thursday break. I think or OS3. Yeah. So essentially, yeah, and I'll go through my trades. So I'll go through my trades too, Cherry. So Cherry, let me go here's what I'll do. When I go through these trades for setups that we're that to be looking for right now, like I'm doing, which I didn't trade this by. When I get to NVDA, Meta, Netflix, and Microsoft, I will break down how I traded those. Okay, how about that? And what to be doing. Lisa, what is a double top number? Double top number would be right. Well, I think it has room to explode to it, and I'd say it's 456.75. 456.75 to 456.65. Somewhere in there would be where I'd be looking for that quick reversal. Somewhere right at that true top. 100%. Upper VWAP band's really not showing me much like it wants to pop or do anything more. Again, we are overextended on the move itself. Don't forget, we are from 454.35 all the way up to 456.35. That's a $2 move. Yes, again, an hour and a half. That's a pretty good move for the SPY. From what we've gotten recently. Some days are pretty choppy. Overall, we've gotten some at least good movement out of the start of the day, where sometimes at the start of the day, we may only have moved $1.50, where today our top and bottom are, well over two. It's about 2.5, 2.5 or so from top to bottom, close to it. That's pretty good movement for the SPY, especially in the first hour of the day, almost hour and a half of the day, especially. You got that, $2.5 movement. So, it's right now it's patience, in my opinion. Right now it's 100% patience. That's why really the double top could come when you get this overall trend's working out pretty nicely, it seems like, and we're just kind of, worming our way through it. And so to me, the best trades as of now would be, I would wait and be hesitant for a bounce at anything unless it's honestly, in my opinion, below the VWAP, like I said, because we haven't gone up far enough to want to trust anything through here. And really right now, the VWAP to this right here would be your only thing I'd be looking at. This open area, open to this bounce, somewhere in this 20 cent range, 55.60 to 55.40 in the VWAP. But then it's so close to the trend crack, it may just rip right through it down to this area. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, SPY is in limbo. SPY the best trades, in my opinion, be over high of day. When you crack in market, when you crack or break over high of day in market, I think that's going to be your best trade. I really think that trend line crack's going to work out pretty decently too. All right, alphabetical order time real quickly. Gotcha, Lisa. SSNL, okay, still on play. There you go. Yes, keep it up. Thank you, Paulie. You're all over that for me. Yes, Gina, there you go on SPY. There you go on SPY, Gina. That's your trade right there, Gina. How low can it go? As of right now, bullish. Up until, in my opinion, even if we crack the VWAP, we're bullish until we crack 55.25, 55.35 area, somewhere in there. And then we start getting bearish down to 455, essentially. Under 455, then we could have, that's where it could then have that, you know, that 455 to 440, 454, like I said earlier, 80-ish mark is kind of a good bounce area. But if it cracks that and does not stay above and we keep ripping, I don't think we'll dip here. All right. We'll see how this holds out for the day, but right now, this is your trend. You play the trend. Play that trend right there on the SPY. So I'm glad Deck kind of moved away from it because you get trades here and there. This was your good trade. You know, back over. That's why I've had this mark in. Let's see how long I've had this in. Price level 9. Okay, so not that long. 455.12. Did show a nice good squeeze over that today and then worked our way to the very top part of that trend. And that's why I think we could have one of those possible trend cracks. You know, like almost how we were same up. In this area, we got the same down. So we crack the trend and then boom, we're down to the VWAP, try to hold, bounce, don't, come down. And then so essentially like the same way up, we go the same way down. That could be our next best trade, or in my opinion, up over high of day. I don't think we go too much lower than low of day if this upper VWAP band or lower VWAP band starts trending up. I think, like I said, 455, I think if we crack this area, we'll see another good pullback. And we may crack that, but I don't think we'd go that much lower. 54 would be probably my low as of right now. 454 if I had to like readjust my low, unless we just get something. Is anyone talking today? Let me know real quickly, team. If not, I think Mondays are pretty low on that. I think it's 54 as of right now would be your low, you know. We made such a good bullish move back up. Even if we see a bearish move down, it's going to have to see a crazy sell-off. You got it, Taff? Minim, yeah, let me know on that too as well. Hold on a sec, team. I did get a voicemail. I'm making sure it's not the drafter. Architect dude. So I got this. Oh no, I love this. It's Cindy, but I qualified for a business loan and credit anywhere from $10,000 up to $500,000. The interest rates for these lines are extremely competitive. I want the one with $500K. Give it to me, Cindy. All right, anyway. All right, let's go through the rest of these plays. Let's alphabetical order them just real quickly to see if I see anything with Apple. Apple, yeah, pretty nice uptrend. It's not perfect, but I do like it, honestly. It's, you know, pretty nice to be completely honest there. So watch for the VWAP to 9 EMA crack. Probably going to enter the Thanos crossover. I'm going to look at these two on my Thanos crossover out to the right in the same time frame. We will go in the 9, but we will not start really entering the Thanos crossover in the 5-minute time frame for a minute. The point being, we will go under the 9 EMA 100%, and that would lead to a good pullback trend line crack, the 9 EMA crack with Apple right here, team. But I don't think it's going to lead to that big of a pullback, in my opinion, right now. Usually, typically, right there at the start of lunch, we don't get those. We got them here and there for a little bit, but right now, it's kind of got back to a dead lunch. And we could have that where it looks like it's going to crack the trend, doesn't, comes down, blah, blah, whatever, and then forms a new kind of a trend line, and then really gives you that crack a little bit later on toward the end of lunch, maybe into right between me and Deck before we go live. You'd really want to get this back under 188. So trend line crack and back under 188 would be your main key here. Longs, good over VWAP. You have no charting here over VWAP up until about 189. So essentially, you know, if you want to go for candlestick confirm, if you do get it in the 3 or 5 minute time frame over 188.45 here, as you can see, maybe worry about 188.50 right there, that little juncture. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about the upper shadow really that much, but you could worry about it in the VWAP. Depends on where you want to go long here. I would say, in my opinion, like me, what I would think, over 188.50, candlestick confirm or 3 or 5, it easily hits VWAP, and over a VWAP, you're up to about 189 or so. AM Dizzles, let's look at it real quickly. Same kind of chart setup there, a little bit more overextended. I think a lot of these are going to have similar setups today, at least a lot of them what I'm looking at so far. I think there's a couple that are different ones that we love to trade, but a lot of these are moving back up through the VWAP here, and a lot of them have trend lines. So just go through here and put your trend lines in, you know. Mark those in just about like that right there. That's how my trend line would look on AMD. You know, put your top uptrend channel so you can see where the resistance is at. I'd say up over 119 to upper VWAP band of 119.50, and then a true double top of high of day and kind of open area of 119.85 would be the room to run for AMD, and that's where I'd be looking to maybe go. I say maybe that's where your short should be, unless we just get some crazy bullish run back up today from the previous opening bell and this massive overall. I mean, you go to like I say 15-minute time frame. Look at these red to green moves, team. That is just absolutely crazy overall. Working your way back up to the open area. Trend line crack real quickly. If and when you do get them, again, be careful. These do look a little bullish. And if anything, we move up at lunch. I don't know how much down we'll move, but maybe we get that dramatic move. But I think if we do move down at lunch, it's not going to be for a little bit longer. I think we go up a little bit more before we go down. Google, same thing here, right? Working your way up the trend line here. Nice uptrend channel. Put your resistance line in. See the top of that's going to be over 130.50, which makes a little sense right through here. A pop up to 130.70, 130.75 mark. Over that up to 131. And then potential what? Double top up to open high of day. Trend line crack through VWAP, possibly down through 130. And that's where you'd crack down a little bit more. Now let's get to some of the plays. We'll get to Meta first, right? So actually my crack area, if I'm not mistaken, where was it? I think it was 317.50 if I'm not mistaken. Let's just go back up and look at my alerts here at opening bell here. I did write them all down. Meta 317.50. That's what I almost 100% thought it was. And Meta I didn't get in at the opening, or I didn't get in before the opening bell. Microsoft was the only one I got in before the opening bell. If you do remember that, sharing my morning voice alerts. So real quickly, and then I'll catch back up to Meta now and kind of alert it to where it's moving to, because boy, oh boy, oh. We're above the upper VWAP band and actually looking like we want to squeeze to 320. So what happened here is opening bell, and I'm trading across the board essentially because they're all just dumping. So you're just kind of jumping in with momentum. So let's go back to a 3-minute time frame because that's what I'm looking at the opening bell. And so this is already down and up, which was, this is down, or I should say down, but then back up, which I love this kind of movement. I love it typically, and then it gives you a chance because I hate when it just cracks off because then I usually don't want to chase it. Well, when it popped right back up, look where it popped to. Look at the high there. Look at that high was. The high, 317.38. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I didn't really try to jump in at the top there. I was thinking maybe 2. I was a little worried. I just waited for this, this to get back under 317 again, essentially. I was like, if this gets back under 317, we should get an easily swoosh right back down to 316.50. If that cracks, we look at where the upper, or I should say the lower VWAP band's at. And when I see the upper VWAP band caving down, team, this just reeks of short city, short city, short city. And it did have this kind of, I was out of it in the first 3 minutes. I was out, boom, as soon as it hit down this area. But point being, as soon as it re-cracked through 317, I was in. Again, couldn't do shares and options across the board. So I had to choose which one I was going to do of which I think it was Microsoft I did shares, NVDA I had to do shares. No, NVDA did options. NVDA did options, and it was Microsoft. Microsoft I did shares. So Microsoft shares, Meta shares, NVDA I did options. EYPT was obviously shares as well. So the only option thing I did was NVIDIA. That's what I thought. I was like, I only did one option at the opening bell. It's hard to do those at the opening bell too. I like just getting in with right at my price. I want to get in, and those options move really crazy at the opening bell. A lot of the time you have to get, these were dumps. But essentially my entry price was around the 316.70 mark, 316.60 mark, somewhere in there. As soon as I saw 317, because it was flushing down here, I'll go back into a 1-minute time frame so you can really judge and see what's happening. Even though I wasn't in a 1, I was in a 3 just watching it. As soon as you can see it pops up and it just starts flushing back down. So as soon as I saw 317, I was like, well, here we go. You better get ready. And I just, like I said, pulled the trigger. As soon as I saw 3.6, I was like 316.90 something. I pulled the trigger. But as fast as it was moving a little bit of that spread, which wasn't too bad, I wasn't filled till somewhere in the 316. I forgot what exactly it was. 316.60 something, 316.70 something. Which was fine. I was, the only thing I was worried about was that low, and so I was kind of worried at first. And there is definitely a little, your heart kind of sinks for half a second. Always, you're like, oh, please do not reverse off this low of day in pre-market and just rip back up, because we are really low. So I'm just letting you know my thought process. Like that was it was a true thought for a second. Like, geez, like, what am I? What if this reverses here? And I'm like, okay, well, my hard stop's got to be, it's got to be over 317.25. But anyway, boom, it just kept flushing, obviously, as you can tell in 1 minute. Just kept flushing. Target was 315. I alerted that in my alerts earlier. I'm going back and looking at my alerts. That's what it was. It said Meta under 317.50, more short down, looking for 315. So that makes sense, Cherry, and anyone else. And what you're doing is You've got to find an area, and you could just say, Cherry, you could have said under this. You could have said, okay, we'll create a low at 316.50. I didn't take AK's alert of 317.50, which was right here. I just made it a nice round number and wasn't trying to say 317.58 or something or whatever, or 317.60. I just said 317.50. I said more short go down, right? And it perfect. Well, if you don't jump in at pre-market, that's fine. You find these lows like I do, and you could just wait to be safe and go, okay, under 316.50. I've got and this is what I do. If I see if I just chose 316.50, I would say if I see anything under 316.50, so 316.40, I don't care what it is. As soon as I see 316.40 something, I'm jumping in. Got to get in. I mean, look how much, and instantaneously you're down even more, right? And so you have to find what you're looking for, essentially, and just stick with it and then go. That's how you have to trade those opening bell movements, And so I'll get into the next ones here in a minute. But that's essentially what you're looking for. And, and then you get these flush. And of course, overall, Meta with this quick pop back up, look where it popped right back up to. Reversal area again. So if I would have stayed in chat and wanted to trade long enough, look where that came back up to. My short. Now, I didn't quite get to it again, and then went down even further. But you find your areas, whatever you want. Mine was 317, and the main reason why is you can go back to the 3-minute time frame. You can see why. Where the candlestick confirmation was, essentially was right at 317. I was like, man, if it gets back under there, I don't see how we hold up. Because look where the VWAP band is. Again, back to the VWAP and the lower. The lower is crashing. I mean, we'll just go back to the opening bell, and I'm in a 3-minute time frame. Right now, I'm way more zoomed out than that. Look, come on, Josh. I'm way more zoomed out than that. I'm looking at yesterday a little bit, too. And then I'm like, okay, I don't need to look at yesterday. We were dumping so hard here. And so we're getting closer and closer to the lower. Look at this. Look where I know we have room to dump down to. I mean, we've got room to just cave. And then at the opening bell, before I'm in, look where we're caving to. Even more. I mean, you got to be like Lito. I mean, all right, so let's get back to Meta now, and I'll get to the other ones. All right, so Meta for right now, kind of getting a little top heavy. I was wondering, so if we get back under 318, we'll go back to a 5-minute. Gives me a little more than a little less detail, which I love. Under 318.55 here, under 318.55, 50 area, whatever you want to call it. Then we'll get that pull back down to 318, and under 318 or 317.90 as we call it. Watch for a pullback down to 317.40ish area, 317.50 area. We get underneath that, then we're down to about 317, 316.90. Then we could possibly get all the way down to the VWAP. Up over 319.35 in this little bull flag setup here, team. Watch for that squeeze to 320, possibly 320.70. All right, real quickly. I want to go through these, and then I'll get back to questions. So let me get through the logistics small trades real quick. Trades. Mike. So let's just go into Microsoft here. Good Lord Almighty. So Microsoft below, and I talked about this earlier in Yeah Buddies chat. I'm gonna go over it again now with you guys, and I talk about it all the time. I said when we're below the previous low of day, and then I've got to go back. Okay, we're below all of last week's low of day. Okay, let's go back 15 days. I'm like, oh, wow, we haven't been, here we go. Sorry, this is this morning. I was like, so we're kind of before we start cracking 370, because that was my crack area. I was like, we haven't been this far back in literally 2+ weeks, or essentially 2 weeks, right? It's been a while. And so where traders going to see the bounce area? I was like, man, I could easily see 368, if not down to 367 here, 25. This double bottom here Tuesday and Wednesday. I brought this up in my morning voice alerts, this area around 367. I was like, all right, under 370... 367's target 1. Okay, 367's target 1. Under 367, I want this down to the previous low of day before that, which would be the Monday, right? Because Friday actually lines up with it too. I forgot Friday lines up with it. So if we crack 1, 2, 3 day low of days, we're definitely immediately going to the next day's low of day. Immediately going down to the next day's low of day, team. And if we crack that low of day, right? Okay. So my ultimate goal was if I can get to 366. Anything below that's profit, right? So target 1, 367, profit taking 2, anything under 366. So let's go back. I'll even put it in a 1-minute time frame. So here's what I'm seeing in opening bell. You can see this little bit of a shelf. I mean, it's 20 minutes long or so, built up at 370. And I'm like, man, if I see anything 3-minute candlestick confirmation or 1-minute candlestick confirmation below 370, I've got to get in here, right? And so I will say I was looking at this a little bit back and forth this morning. Now, I didn't take it right here at this 369.75 mark. I wish I would have, though, because it would have been a much better entry. I originally actually I jumped the gun here when I was in my morning voice alerts, and I told everyone I did. I think I was in at 369.90, and I was in small, like 100 shares, which is hilarious. And so I didn't get in again, though, until right here, and then go back to 3-minute candlestick confirmation when it confirmed below. I didn't get into right here, and I was like, no! And so that's when I went major. That's when I went in major. I was like, oh! Because I went back and looked at the 1, and so I tried to jump the gun here in the 3-minute. That was my bad. It was so funny. I was like, no. Anyway, and so then I got in more here, and I went in a little heavier on Microsoft as well. And so you can see here where then the pullback just instantaneously right down to 367. So I was already up. We'll just call my fill average overall in the end essentially about 369.20 or 30 or whatever it was. It was not, well, this did not help me out is my point at all really in the end. Helped me out just a little bit, but not much when you're all the way down here filling in the rest. And then we just immediately opening bell. I was already in, so I'm just in for this in the opening bell. Already added more down here, and so like I said, my cost basis was just like a little bit above it, something like right here. And so again, kind of like, man, I wish I would have looked maybe at the 1-minute time frame. And sometimes the 1 minute's going to help you out. It will, maybe. Maybe I'll look at that more pre-market when there's not a lot of volume. But then when there's a lot of volume and through this area, a lot of time it could possibly, and it sometimes gets you good. So I'll break it down more, but you just got to be careful sometimes in the 1-minute time frame. So overall, like I said, I went in, I think it was 300 shares. I don't think I went bigger than 300 shares. I know it was 100 at first. And then it was, I'm pretty sure, I was going to say 250, but I don't think I did 250. I'm pretty sure it was 300 total. I don't like doing those random numbers, team. It's got to always be round for me. And so I was in, I'm pretty sure 300 shares. And like I said, it was right around the 69.30 cost basis, something like that. It wasn't that great. It was okay. Was my average fill. But then boom, opening bell. You can see here, we'll just go back to a 1-minute time frame. Opening bell, boom. I mean, it was up a little bit. I mean, I guess I could have gotten filled a little bit right about, it was pretty much right at my entry, obviously, as you can see, boom, and then boom, right on down. So as we hit 367 here, I was out 100 shares, waited around for a little bit, and then we got some more dumpage, and that's where I got the ultimate real dump, really, for the rest of the shares that I was in. And then, again, under 366 was the main goal for me, and you can see I was pretty close to where it was going to bounce at. It didn't bounce right at, it was a little bit higher than that. But you can see once it cracked that 366 mark, that's where the Tumble-Rooski came in, and this was I think that was the last trade I was in of the day was Microsoft, the longest I was in, because you can tell when we got 366 though, and kind of hesitated through there, bear flagged at it really, and then boof, right on down. So there's the Microsoft trade. Again, gives you good confirmation 1 minute or even 3 minute before the opening bell to get that 370 crack. And then when you have room down to 367 is your first target. 367 is your first target. So that's why I wasn't really disappointed. Even in the end, it sucked. I know with my average entry here wasn't the best, and it could have been better overall in the end. I had room down to 367, and then if I cracked 366, it wasn't a target. It was actually crack zone. To see if it based there or what anyway, and we didn't really base. We kind of based above it, and we really was like, well, where are we basing at here? I was like, well, we're building a bear flag. This is nice. And then right as we cracked that bear flag, whew, right on down we went. That's gorgeous. That's exactly what I'm looking for right there at the opening bell. Is that real quickly? I'm gonna go through the rest of these. I'm gonna make sure you have any questions, and we'll go back over them. NVDA, same thing. We'll go back to this one. Wasn't in at the opening bell. Or before the opening bell, but my crack zone NVDA was under 460 for the short down. Same thing here, right under 460, 1 minute time frame. As you can see, it was opening bell. It was all over the place, boop, boop, boop. But as soon as it cracked, how I get in this team essentially is I set a number and put it in my head and go, well, we haven't been under 460, and I'll show you guys, in a very long time, right? We haven't been under here under a very long time. So where a trader is going to find this target at? I think 457.50 and then 455, if I'm not mistaken, were my targets. I think that was it. And then I know ultimate goal was down here in these lower shadows of 451, 450 was my low of day. I'm telling you guys not to short anymore, which I didn't hold all the way down to that area, but I got pretty close. And again, here opening bell, you just find a number and go, man, if this gets under 459.80, I'm always at 459.80, 459.75 guy. And as soon as it started cracking, this is where I got in options. And this just tanked just right away. I mean, it was very simple to get into this. And a lot of these is just dumped right away. And when you have a nice, good, and it's not long, but a good support area built in like this, and then you can go into like say a 15 minute or 10 5 whatever minute time frame, and you can see we're just staircasing down and bear flagging after bear flagging, especially in a 5 minute time frame. You're coming down in a pull, and there's your bear flag right at a big round number at 460. That's another thing you bring up, right? And the lower VWAP band is instantly taking you down to 459, and you have a target of like, well, there's no way 459 sold, and it just sure enough in a 1 minute time frame, you can see here how that one just immediately starts caving away instantaneously within, let's just see here, within a minute, seeing that lower VWAP band goes from 459 all the way down to 4. That's why I use these bands, letting me know where these can go to, right? And so, boom. I mean, again, with that, got right out of my trade for the most part here. And this is actually where I re-entered on the share size, but it did, it couldn't get in that much. But I made a little bit of chump change, and this is where I did alert over in Dex Lobby. I think it was finally after this when it reversed, came all the way then back down again. I was in Dex Lobby because I took a break, and I came with, hey, do not go short here. Do not, please be careful right there. But does that make sense? Kind of, you find an area, good support gets built in, haven't been at these. This is why I wasn't really going heavy last week, and now here on a Monday I can finally again, because I was saying at first in those morning voice alerts, kind of gross in chop zone, kind of gross in chop zone, kind of go ooh, and then finally we're getting to these plays that have moved out of that chop zone that you haven't been in this charting for a long time. So when you haven't been in a charting for such a long time, like with NVDA here, team, you've got to go all the way back since the last time. That's a long time. It's a month ago essentially. So where traders, then you have to, then decipher where traders are going to find the tops and the bottoms, and look sure shit enough where it goes down to 451, 450, right where I thought maybe it could go to, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just listen real quickly. I'm pretty sure, and I know just a little, I know someone in chat probably already damn knows, but let's just listen to my morning voice alerts and what I said for NVDA low of day.
We have to go back to 451.75. 451.75 to 450 would be my low of day. Now for the move back up over 450.
There you go. So 451.75 to 450, because there was just such range in there you couldn't really identify. And of course, at that point, I know I'm not shorting at that. If anything, I'm getting out of my last short. Real quickly, what was the last one I had here? Was Microsoft. No, it went over Microsoft, right? No, it's Netflix. Netflix is the one I hadn't gone over yet. Yep, Netflix is the last one. Yep, same thing. Oh, and this one I actually double dipped on. Just went shares out of the opening bell. Did the same thing. You have to go back in time here, right? Cherry, anyone else asking? Taff, anyone asking? It's been a couple of weeks, 3 weeks or whatever. Been over a couple of weeks since we've been back in this area, whatever you want to call it. Under 460, again, a nice whole round number like Meta, but then, or I should say Netflix, but we were a little above it. I think it was like 460, 150. Yeah, 460, 150. So a good round number, which I'll go back to it. But you just look at it. Look at this. You don't really have much to go off of. This is it. So essentially, under 460, 150. This is all, team. This is not today. This is all the way back in November here. And so what are we basing off of here? Where are we going? So you can see under 462, which was okay. Maybe 458, right? Look, we're where in here are we going to get stopped at? And that's what I said. I think I maybe brought up this 460 lower shadow. And then other than that, we're dumping down to 458. So my target was, if we get under 460, take some at 458, and then anything under 458 is icing on the cake. All right, so let's go back in today, go back to a 1 minute time frame so you can see kind of what to do here. Again, there's never a lot of volume on Netflix at the opening bell. So it's one of the things I kind of find a bottom at pre-market here, which to me was at I know I said 460, 150, but that was, I couldn't get in share. I didn't want to do shares on two different things. It would have tied up too much money, in my opinion, that when I knew I was going to trade afterward. And I was like, let's just get this afterward. So what I did on Netflix was the same thing. I just found a low of day in pre-market, which under 460, 150 paid, right? It paid out. But I just found this low in pre-market and said, okay, if we get under 460, 30, I'll just call it 460. Let's call it 460, Josh. If you see anything under 460, you've got to get in for the short. And so, boom, immediately pulling the trigger. Essentially, you can see where 3 minute candlestick confirmation. Got in right here at 439 right here. Not a great one, but it was still good. Got in with shares. Boom. We were fine. Got my exit right here at 458, and I was like, okay, if we get into 458, let's take some more. And so, boom, right on down, we went to 456.50, right? And so there's where I made some more money. And then where I double dipped was right here. I got some options, actually. I was like, man, here we go, that low of day crash. And that's where we got it across the board and double dipped on a couple different ones. And then you got this last action of movement. Just made a little extra money on the morning. But the opening bell, how to trade those, any of these, the ones that are built up better would be like, say, NVDA. NVDA has this shelf built up on a whole round number of 460. You find like 20, 30 cents under it and go, you know what? Anything underneath that, I've just got to take it. And look how, I mean, it wouldn't. There's no way you wouldn't have made money here. I mean, I wish I could go back and play it in time, but you can if you have one of those like TradeZilla or one of those apps that does that. I'm sure I will. I can't yet today on demand on Thinkorswim. I wish you could go back immediately today. But right here, you can see here. I find an area with like 459.80, 459.75 is always my area when it's a round number like that. I'll just go essentially 20 to 25 cents under the full number and say if I see anything below that, I've got to pull the trigger and just dumpage. I mean, even if you stuck with the candlestick confirmation at the top of the hour with 3 in the 1, you still would have gotten some profit right there. Not a lot. I mean, and then you would have got a lot more, but essentially you find a number and you go, man, if it gets underneath that, you're going like that. That's how I make all that money at the opening bell. Is that's what you're looking for with Tesla a lot of the time. Meta was a good one today where you just say, hey, at the opening bell under a certain area, like under low of day, I've got to go short. And then you go short anywhere under that 316.60 mark, which mine was higher, I know. But then boom, look at this straight on down, right? I mean, you get $1.50 right there. Immediate movement. No up and down, nothing. It's a 1 minute time frame. And then even when you got to you did get one of these, you got even a little bit more profit before it did finally go back up. Microsoft was actually one of the best versions of the day that did just almost go straight down. Had a little chop straight down, right? A little chop, but then even more dramatic movement. And so, but that's what you're looking for is find a low. Mine was here on Microsoft of 367, or I should say 370. I did jump the gun a little bit here too early, but that's my fault. But still, even what you finally did fully candlestick confirm below that, built the bear flag, cracked some more, candlestick confirmed, down some more, built another bear flag, so to speak, almost an ascending bear flag, right? If you flip this upside down, it looks like an ascending triangle. We were about to squeeze for more and popped new high of day, right? If I flip this upside down, how it's going, it's making higher highs and lower lows, or higher lows and higher highs, So hopefully that makes sense. Does it make sense, team? I want to go through those real quickly and what kind of be looking for. I'm going to go through anything else if you do have any questions, but I did want to break that down. It takes a little getting used to, and I think at first too with smaller shares you'll get, that's where it's going to help you out. You can't go in big. Shelf crack, VWAP crack on SSNT, not good for small guys. Not good for small guys. All right, I just want to go through those. We'll make sure that makes sense. Any questions though after going through all of those? Let's get it. What minute time frame do I use during the day? So small caps, I use one to start the day, and also sometimes 3 in the 5. That's going to help me with my Thanos crossover. So when I look at my Thanos crossover setup, that's going to help me with that. The 1 and the 3. Sometimes, the 1 for candlestick confirmation. So here's the difference, and a lot of people get that confused. Small caps. Small caps team. For candlestick confirmation for entries, it's 1 minute. Unless it's like lunch or maybe later in the day. And sometimes I'll use 3 or 5. No, 3. Majority, 90% of the time, small caps, 1 minute for candlestick confirmation for entries. But I will look at the 3 or the 5 minute for the Thanos crossover. So say I get my entry on the trend line crack. Well, then I'll look at the 3 or 5 minute time frame over here and see what my Thanos crossover looks like. And if we're entering it, of course, I'll already be looking at that. But that gives me more of an indicator of how much more, or how much we can go down or could go down. And that would really help out, So 1 minute for candlestick confirmation on entries, but I look in the 3 and the 5 just to keep my eyes open for bigger spectrum, essentially. Now for large cap plays, very, very, very rarely 1 minute for entries. It's almost, 90% of the time it's 3 minute for entries. Well, I would say 3 minute because of those momentum type plays. You can't really judge that in there because that was just momentum. So you've got to get in with the momentum, or you're left in the past. Your ass is grass, so to speak. There, let's get it. So, those I'm in the 3 minute though. Every once in a while, maybe looking at the 1, depends on what it is. But usually, typically 1, 3, 5 are my favorites overall. Usually in the large cap though, I'll move away from that one, especially this time of the day. As you can tell, I'm in a 3 minute time frame to look at charting, and a 5 minute most of the time, maybe a 3 for the large caps. For sure. So I float, and I like to float around. I think traders need to, because not every trader, because most traders kind of get set, in certain time frames across the board. I'd say at least half the traders that are trading out there just kind of get set in one and don't really move around. So you've got to think, well, what are these? And even the ones that aren't, what are traders seeing? So that's why when I break my charting down for you guys in the morning, like say when I'm breaking down, Microsoft to start this day, and we're all the way down to say 370, I'm in a 15-day, 15-minute time frame. That way I can see real clearly where the support resistance is. When I, like say today, I immediately have to go, whoa, we have to go real far back in time to find some, support resistance areas. And so I'm in a 15-minute time frame, and then I use the 4-hour a lot as well to kind of go back in time. I don't use the daily as much because I'm going to get that in the 4-hour or even the 15-minute time frame. The 15-minute and the 4-hour break it down. I'm trying to, I forgot what that, magnifying glass, the scope thingamajigger you use in science class, whatever the specific name was for it. There's no one here. Someone, I think they're moving across the street. It's funny, the people across the street are moving, and then we're going to be moving soon, which is so funny in the next year sometime, hopefully in the next year, for sure. Anyway, it'll be in 2024, but you get my point. But you just got to be across the spectrum, because 15-minute time frame, 4 hours is going to show you the high of day, the open, you're still going to see that stuff. So it just kind of, it's that magnifying glass that you kind of had that 3 different lenses, and you want to kind of scope yourself around. So it's like I have one with the 135, and then when I really want to zoom out, I have a 15, a 4-hour, and the daily. So those are my 6 favorite time frames: the 1 minute, the 3 minute, and the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 4-hour, and the daily. Those will be the ones I go to the most. Deck killing it. Decaroni, you got it. Cherry, you got it. Lisa, do you prefer 3 minutes? Oh, for sure, Lisa, because you got to think about how many traders are using it. I've never heard of 2 minute. I know Deck uses it, and I guess some platforms have it, but I've never, from when I first traded to now, I never knew of another trader that used a 2 minute. I don't know too many traders that do. But hey, if you like the 2, you like the 6, you like the 8, you're a 7-minute gal, Can't really tell traders what time frame they like to use. I can tell traders to be careful of stocks like Minim, though. Like I said, be careful. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Let's see here. J-Trade, have you gone over Tesla? I'm not. My bad. And J-Web, thank you. Sorry. All right, so over 238. Watch for a pop up to 238.50, 238.75 area. Over that, 100% is going to see 239 in high of day. I would imagine we double top. Let's go back to SPY. Have we kind of double topped this yet? Oh, not yet. Still could be still in the trend. Look at my trend line. Look at the trend line theme. Hello, trend line. So yeah, Tesla real quickly does have a trend line too, and appreciate it, Cousin Greg, seeing that as well. Appreciate that, Cousin Greg. Yeah, it was a killer day to start the day, 100%. Oh, and I didn't go over EYPT, but it was the same thing, and I'll go over EYPT. Trend line on TSLA. You ain't got no celery? Yeah, a little too tacky. Man, I gotta have a little celery though with my wings team, and I got, talk about football season. I don't want to get in my Broncos game yet. I don't want to start freaking yelling. But, man, I got to have some celery and carrots, some fixins, whatever you want to call them on the side. Oh, my God, with some wings, some little garn parms. Oh, my gosh. Got to go hot, traditional hot, if not super hot. I don't mind the spicy barbecue, too. I love some barbecue. Those are good. I just like wings, traditional. It just doesn't matter. Look, my favorite is just traditional. Oh, man, but some celery, some crunchy celery and carrots with some ranch. That is fire. Uptrend channel though, real quickly. Sorry, J Dre. Got lost in them wings, man. That sounds so good. I almost want to make me some now. I gotta get some from the grocery store. Under 237.60. 237.50 area right here, the top of that old resistance. Trend line crack. Watch for pullback down to 237.15, 237. J-Web as well. Anyone else interested in Tesla? Under 237, watch for a pullback. One last one, in my opinion, to 236.50 at most. Now, if we do have a big pullback here across the board, maybe it does crack the VWAP. Maybe it does crack 236.50, which that's where the VWAP is going to be here in just a few minutes. As in, we'd pull it back to 236. I don't know if these holds, we would easily see, in my opinion, 235.65. Over 238, like I said, up to uptrend channel we'd go until we maybe explode over it. And at that point in time, maybe we do get one of these type numbers where we get a big green candle, baby. So watch for that, J Dre, J-Web, anyone else? Yeah, and EYPT, thanks for Deck bringing that up. The one that does not want to give up today, although I brought this up earlier in Deck's lobby. I said 1875 was a support area, and look what happened. We cracked back under that. Nice, good pullback. I was done at that point. But I talked about this in my morning voice alerts. I said under 23. I was being safe with you guys because I did not want you getting caught up. And this shelf, which we could have went a little higher, which we saw the shelf being built in before the opening bell. Go back to a 1 minute time frame for EYPT. So right here is where I was looking at. I was like, ooh, I could talk about this shelf right there. And I was like, man, I don't want it because it's here and stay on the 3 minute, because I was looking at this in 1 minute too and the 3 minute. I was like, where's the shelf at? Is, let's just be safe. Because if we get under this bounce at 20, we'll call it, I was calling it 23. We'll just go with, round it up to 23. We see here, also in pre-market, we bounced pretty much right around that area. I was like, especially when you go to, like, say, which a lot of traders are probably doing at this point because it's been running for quite a while. It's not like it just started running. It's been running for a hot minute. And so traders are probably in a 3 minute time frame. And so when you go to that or anything bigger, you're going to start seeing that, man, under 23, we could easily crack to 22, and under 22, this just completely plummets to 20, possibly a little bit underneath it. And that was my goal. 20 was my first target, and anything under 20 was icing on the cake. Thought 20 was an easy target. I thought 22 would have no chance here. And so yet again, here we come right on down. And I was in a 1 minute candlestick confirmation on this. And this is what I told traders in chat. We just got the perfect, and I was telling you guys, we just got the perfect candlestick confirmation here on EYPT. It was right at 23. Well, I didn't get in because I was hesitant, obviously. I was like, oh, God, we're so close. Boom, came right on down. And here's where I was getting filled in this area from 22.90 down to, because I was like, man, anything under 23, anything under 23. So 22.90, I got filled immediately. Then I got filled a little bit more on the candlestick confirmation, but it was afterward because you're trying to get orders filled. I already had one ready to go. I was like, just give me filled, just give me filled. And then, you just put it above because it's just going to fill you instantaneously. You don't want to go too low because it may not fill you. You just want to get filled is the point. And so that's what you typically do. And then you just get filled in pre-market, getting your best fills possible. And then, boom, then it came on down. Like I said, didn't think 22 was going to hold. It kind of was at first. I was in so many plays at first. This wasn't the one that was worrying me. I really thought this was about to just plummet, and sure enough, it did. Boom. Right on through to 20. And by the time I was with all my plays this morning, I couldn't take profit until this was below 20. And then I saw it literally in the 19s, and I just wrapped it up somewhere in the 19s, somewhere in this area. I was like, yo, Joe, we're just getting dumped across the board. I mean, just got to think about it. EYPT, look at the first minute of the day, right? We're down, let's just call it, $3. $3 easy. Microsoft, first minute of the day, we're immediately down 268 down to 2. We'll call it $2, even though it really went down even more than that after that. But $2 in the first minute. NVDA in the first minute of the day, we're down. First minute, Josh. First minute of the day, we're down $3. $3. You get my point. So it's like, man, those were just one of those days where you get, and it's Monday. Monday's my favorite day. It's not even close. Monday's my favorite day ever to trade. So as of right now, I love Mondays. I freaking love Monday. View new high of day. You got it, J. Dre. Thank you, though, Cousin Greg. EYPT, we'll keep that on watch as well. I'll keep EYPT on watches because it's trying to move up a little bit. View's going to be our top watch right now. New high of day, almost on the 100 counter. You got it, though, J. Dre. Anyone else hearing MJ's PYT in their head? I could see that. Yeah, pretty young thing. Okay. Wasn't thinking about that. But I like it though. I was thinking that could be like a combo. Egypt, an Egyptian pretty young thing. How about that? And it actually sounds like, well, that one there you go. Kind of sounds like then you go to Michael Jackson again. And what was that music video where everyone was like? It had Arsenio Hall, Magic Johnson. I forgot. There was I think Debo was in it. Maybe from Friday. God, what was that music video? God, it was another good song. What was that music video? God, there was a music video where they were all Egyptians. This is Michael Jackson's stock. God, what is that one? Do you remember? I think it's Do You Remember the Time? Do you remember the time? Do you remember? I'm almost 100% positive. Not Do You Remember the Time, but I think it's Do You Remember. It is It's called Remember the Time. Remember the Time. It is Remember the Time. Here we go, team. Look at this. When he did like movies, I'm so about to get fined for this, I bet. I don't care. Sue me, YouTube. I'm just trying to provide him for more likes and views. How are you not seeing it this way? I mean, look at this. I mean, this music video probably back in the day cost little. We should look it up. 2 mil, 3 mil to make, 4 mil. I mean, for the length of it. I mean, that literally nowadays, this is like $50 million nowadays. This is like a low budget film. I mean, this costs more than this costs more than the Blair Witch Project. This literally costs more than the Blair Witch Project, team. Billie Jean was pretty good, Ski. I liked it. They were counting out. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I remember the one. I think it was during the Super Bowl halftime, or during the Super Bowl, maybe because he did the show. But black and white. Or no, that was maybe Monday Night Football. That was like Monday Night Football because it was during. I think it was in November. But black and white was like Monday Night Football. Blah blah blah. Michael Jackson new music video, and you're just like couldn't wait to see it. I think it was Monday Night Football. I thought it was Eddie Murphy. I thought Eddie Murphy was the big one in this one. Eddie Murphy in this one. There's Magic Johnson. The Stick Man. Oh, look at him with those sticks. He has sticks of honor. He is the Stick Man. Or the Fireman. And then we have the Michael Jackson Man. Watch this, guys. Watch this, guys. Watch this, guys. You think that's something, the Stick Man? Watch this. He says, do you remember? Watch this. Do you remember? No, not yet. Hold on. I forgot what happens here. What do these turn into? Oh, I think he disintegrates. That's what I thought. He disappears. I forgot he did the thing in front of him first. I thought he just did that. Groot, stop. I'm trying to break this down in here. Classic Michael Jackson video. Here we go. Hi, this is EYPT. This is actually educational stock video. Don't sue me, YouTube. So he said go up and down, EYPT. If you get over $20, he said I will take your money. Yeah, take your money. Does he even talk? He literally the whole entire thing didn't even say a word. Really? I will say real quickly, EYPT, Egyptian pretty young thing. Do you remember? Over 20's key. To me, it's over 21. Over 21, then we have liftoff to the VWAP. So watch for this overall really wonky U-shape. Probably see it better in a 10-minute time frame. Looks a little bit better overall here. Double bottom for the day. Right at about that, we'll call it 1775 mark where we're getting kind of true double bottom support. Working our way back on around yonder. So over 20, watch for move to 21, and over 21, then to the VWAP. And I don't want a price target. No, I just want the 3-minute time frame. Minim done. Told you, Minim. I told you, get out of here with that trash, Minim. I told you. Get that trash out of here. Let's see here. My Iman, or the model, the girl, the pretty girl, right? Yeah, that was her name. I was like, what was her name? Because like, she's a model. What was her name? Petey, stop itching. Had to give Petey a bath last night, team. Still itching. You're so handsome. He loves getting a bath, though. Boy, he'll get in that hot water and just let it. He's like, oh my God, this feels so good, Dad. So impressive how you trading this year. Appreciate it, King Kong Trades. What do you want, mister? And then albeit trading around, 13 dogs, 2 cats. I hear the bunny going crazy back there, everyone. We got 3 bunnies, but only 1 because I hear her in the living room. Oh, Cardi B. I appreciate it, though, King Kong. And I only figured the more you trade. That's why I was never opposed to going short. Well, I was at first. I do remember those days of going, who needs to go short? I can go long all day long. Stephen Ducks can go short. Oh, he can Anyway, boy, I love shorting, right? Anyway, so that changed things up a little bit. And just having an open mind to find what you like best. And then the more you trade, the more you make. And now it's, getting away from small caps, which is great, but still trading them. But then now we'll be able to trade large caps. And not just a large cap play, but any large cap play. That's what I want. I don't want to be limited. I grew up with Michael Jordan, Martin Luther King Jr., Tiger Woods, John Elway, Optimus Prime, Goku. I can just roll through the cast of people that I grew up watching. They never lost. And when they had like battle losing moments, they always won the war, essentially, at least what I remember for the most part. And if they didn't win the war, maybe there were some wars they lost, but then it was a learning moment. Okay, well, why didn't we win the war that year? Trust me. Never forget Michael Jordan coming back from playing baseball, and they were ripping it, and he's wearing 45, and then going up against the Magic, and then I'll never forget the restaurant because we still have it here in Little Rock. We went out to Oyster Bar, and they had like their this side room that was kind of big open room with a big screen, or the big old box ones back in the day. But this is the series where he came back. The point being, they lost to the Magic, right? You know, he was only back for like 20 games or whatever it was, you know, and then into the playoffs. It wasn't like he was fully back. And of course, the next year they went 72-10, and we know how that all unfolded. But you know, seeing him lose against the Magic, and I was like heartbroken. I'll never forget this restaurant, which I love so much, playing video games, taking a break, coming out of the game room, running down the hallway into that big open area. Because back then, you know, this is 95, right? This is 95. TVs aren't everywhere in bars. You know, they're only in the bar area where people are smoking, right? There was this big smoking room. Few TVs were up, old school, like big bulb screens up on the walls that you could barely see. I just was worried about the big ass 60-inch or whatever they had, that if you knocked it over, it'd kill you, literally, or you broke something. Anyway, going in there, and then was like, you just like hope when we lost that game, and it's like, it just was heartbreaking, as a kid. Like, no, like Jordan's not supposed to lose. Like, no. You know, it's a good team though. I mean, freaking Anthony Hardaway, Horace Grant, freaking Shaq when Shaq could run, like run, you know. I was gonna say the Broncos, but the Bulls didn't have anything. Now knowing Bulls didn't have anything to keep up with Shaq, let alone Anthony Hardaway. You know, Anthony, I'm sure Scotty probably locked him. I can't remember, but in the end, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. I mean, the Magic were loaded. You go back and look at it, that was a loaded team. They should have won. Ran up against the Rockets, which were another good team. Regardless, though, but then boom, you know what I'm saying. So how did Jordan take that losing moment? And then I look, you know, as I grow older, I'm like, yo, you know, you gotta, and I want to beat the best. I'm sorry, that's why I do not like. I would have so much more respect for LeBron and still call him the second best ever, but have a better feeling of doing that. Now I don't even have him as second best, but I'd call him second best ever if he would have stayed at Cleveland and never left Cleveland. Maybe won 2, maybe 3 championships, brought players in instead of team chasing, player chasing. I would have so much more respect for him. Beat the best. Don't go join the best and the rest. That's my mentality. So anyway, you know, it's like the more the merrier. Bring it on. I want to just conquer. Nate trades me throwing out the Michael Jackson references, man. Just dancing around with that. I wonder if that red coat's still around. If that red coat's still around, Nate trades how much it's worth. You know, guys in chat. You know, that thing would probably be worth like 1.8 mil. Maybe more than that. I don't know if you guys know how much Michael Jackson's memorabilia costs, but probably a lot. Lisa loved that. Appreciate it, though, Lisa. And yes, though, Lisa, guys, you too as well. Just keep pushing, you know. I mean, honestly, no lie. What are you smelling? Please tell me they didn't do anything here. No, we're good. You know, sometimes, like I said, the little dogs like to mark. When I know I will find, here's how I find it. It'll be one of the bigger dogs. Trendline cracking on the spy, by the way. One of the bigger dogs will kind of point it out, and they're smelling something, and I'm like, oh boy, what are you smelling? And then one of the little dogs peed. Good job, little dogs. Didn't want to go outside, did you? Point being, team, keep pushing. You know, again, I was going to get to this, and, you know, like getting more with the drafter architect this week, you know, getting more. I always wanted to build a house. Always goes, like I said, went to school for architecture. That's what I keep seeing a hair, and there is one there. I went to school for architecture, actually, originally. University of Arkansas. They've got a really good architecture school. Went up there, took CAD in high school. You know, I was like, here we go. This is what I want to do. I can't wait. This is going to be great. Wanted to do something too different. My dad was a morning show host on radio. I didn't want to take the easy road out. You know, I want to do something different to show that I could do something that wasn't given to me. Went up there over school, and yeah, a little over my head. And they try to tell you, which I love. They try to tell me, they're like, Josh, and I'll kind of mark charting team. I love this story. They're like, you know, so there's another kind of just smack in the face moment. Although, albeit early on in my life, it still was a smack in the face. I'd go a little bit lower here because the candlestick confirms a little lower, right? I wouldn't do it right here. I'd go a little bit lower right there, team. So 318.60-ish. So they're trying to tell you, go up there for the, what's it called, team? I think it starts with a C. What's it called? Polly, I saw a view. What's it called? Orientation. Yeah, orientation, right? It's when you go up to the school and you go to your certain college, like you have a certain date, and before you actually go to school, you go up. Like sometime in the summer, isn't that what orientation is? You go up in the summer before you actually start the school, and they show you around the campus. You go meet your college and what college you're going to go to, and you kind of meet the professors and stuff. I think it's called orientation, right? I think it's called orientation. View's rolling here, though, team. We'll go to view. Watch for the meta of the shelf crack. I want to put that in Dex Lobby. View, new high of day. Meta, watch for shelf crack. Anyway, night, thank you there, Paula. Nice new high of day. I swear, like these. Oh, I can't wait for my office in the next house, which we'll get back into that story. Play the trend line team, because here, let me show you what's going on with the view here. We're squeezing out of our uptrend channel. Squeezing out of our uptrend channel. To me, the top would be, oh, no, not yet. Not yet fully. Watch to see if we get out of that uptrend channel. See how we have the uptrend channel, in my opinion, we right there. Let's see if you get up out of that. Good eye there, though, Paula. Told you, though, small caps, the whatever popped earlier, minimum would not be the last one. Here's view. We may even have one last small cap to pop. Anyway, the teachers were just, the professors, they're trying to tell you in orientation. They're saying, they're saying, hey, you come up here, it's not going to be about going to the games on Saturday. You know, the Arkansas, the football, of course, any SEC school you go to, football's huge in the fall. It's just, you're going to want to go to the games, especially when you're a freshman, and the parties, the frat parties, the sororities, and, oh, you got guys and the girls. Yeah, lots to look at and lots to do. You don't really want to care about books on Saturday, is my point. They're telling you, yeah, you're going to be spending about 100 hours a week in here, blah, 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 blah. You'll be spending, who knows how many hours here on a Sunday. I'm like, yeah, well, and I'm thinking I'm such a good, because I am, better now than I was then, such a great multitasker. Well, I learned in quite a hurry I was not a good multitasker, at least good as I thought I was back then. And yeah, in that first week or 2, 3, I'm like, oh, they were right. Oh, and so I'm barely getting by. And it's like a month or 2 in. I'm like, unless I'm going to go full bore, and I just do not have the capacity to do that right now. I do not have the mental state at this age. I just can't. So any of you, by the way, that did go to school and graduate, especially something at a pretty significant high rate, or even if it was just business school and something that wasn't super hard, it was just something that you just went to school and you already were concepting, you knew. I didn't really know a lot about architecture, is my point. It wasn't like I was going into law school. Never really done much law classes, but here we go. It wasn't like that, or doctor, all that kind of stuff, even if your parents were. Holy bananas. If you went to school at 18, 19, 20 and did not back out and kept going through it, regardless, like I said, even got a business degree or whatever, just a normal degree, to have the wherewithal, the mental capacities, the state of mind to be able to go through all that, kudos to you guys. And my point is, if you can, and I did not, you can do this. You can get through this. That's my point. Back then, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to school, and one day, oh my God, I'm going to design my own house. How cool is this going to be, man? Besides my house, other stuff, right? Wasn't just to go to school just to design my house and call it quits. But to finally go through all the fruition of me yelling and screaming and banging, which I have a different desk now, but just all that I went through and the struggles and the trials and tribulations and the ups and downs. And I'm going to make a post, and I think that's a new thing recently. I think a lot of the reason why people have been growing on social media, or they haven't been really been showing what they do. It's been a lot of like Umar. I love Umar, but Umar does this a lot of the time. I forgot what that girl, Tori. There's a Tori girl that I follow, and because I followed her for a while, and that's all her posts are for the most part anymore. It's just really just talk. It's almost like podcast type stuff where they're sitting in front of a mic and they're just talking. And that's one of the posts I want to do, and just let you I was again and show the picture. I have a picture I can show you. I think I showed it off once in chat where I text Avery and I'm just sad, and not trying to be sad. I literally just got him crying. But I work for Rent-A-Center, and I'm like delivering, you deliver all kinds of stuff for Rent-A-Center, and you're picking up old furniture and such. This wasn't one of those instances, because usually when I was picking up old gross furniture or whatever it might be that was maybe bed bug ridden that I had to worry about, or the house smelled like complete piss shit and who knows what all went in. I don't even know what went in the outside that house. A bomb went off essentially, and everything was everywhere. That I was actually, I wasn't picking something up, that I was actually dropping something off and setting something up all by myself. That made it always hard to go by, hey, go set this bed set up by anyway. I'm texting Avery, like crying. We just got back from our Florida trip. And I'm like, I can't believe, here I am. She's didn't even go to school, balling out, about to become a regional within the next year or so. I am just suffering away, multiple jobs. At that time, I wasn't ever I knew I would kind of keep up on my phone and would always see stocks explode in 2016 and just be like, oh no, I didn't want to be doing this so bad. I suck. This sucks. And then every time I got off, or I should say she got off and came home, then I had to then leave essentially right before she even got off, or before she was even home, or right as she got home and go to work at Fogo. So it was just always something I was doing besides my dream and passion, which was at first, actually after architecture, was to be on like ESPN and talk sports, and you see me on First Take or whatever all those shows are, Get Up on ESPN in the morning. I didn't want local news. I wanted to be big time on ESPN and talk, about sports and give my opinion, and used to be called Cold Pizza forever ago. But then to have that dream get washed away and be like, this isn't happening. Like what you went to school for, and put that time in. Now, I know it was fun and all, but you literally, I feel like a lot of that, like at first, was wasted time. Again, I applied that a little in there. Like I said, I talked about this last week when I applied. I'm not lying to you. I applied for minimum 300 to 500. I swear it was 1,000. I mean, it could have been maybe only 500 or 600. It was minimum 300 to 500 in my mind, because there got to a point where I just went through and I didn't care where it was or what it was. I just started applying. I just said, like, because there was like, I signed up, because you signed up for these, and then I'm paying like $100 a month for these like services that show you all the different jobs, so you aren't having to look for them. They're just sent to you, and then you apply for them like that. And so then I got more critiqued about what I sent in, and then even sent in extra emails and more reels and doing more. All that time felt like a waste of time. Like, the point being now, when I did find stocks and I'm struggling, and I'm like, man, I could have just been. I'd be like where I am now. Back then is how I felt, right? I'd be like, I would be 5, 6, 7 years into this. Yet I went to school, finished that off because I took a little break, but went back, finished school, had jobs, and so 4 or 5 years proved to be nothing. And so here I am in 2016, and I'm struggling my ass off. Like, went to school, Dean made the dean's list, I graduated with whatever honors, blah 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 blah. My dad was in radio, got all these references. Nothing to show for it. I had to work my ass off even to get what I made in the broadcast, which again, the most I ever made in a year was like $30K. No offense, because if you're making that, you know what I mean. That's how I feel. I'm laughing at myself. I'm like, I went through all that to make and all that trial and struggle to make $30K, and that's when that one job I had. I don't even know what I was making. That was maybe the most I was making was $30K from my degree. And I know, and that's the thing about school. When you get out, it's sometimes years down the line. And I started realizing that. I'm like, well, if I'm going to struggle, if I want to put the work in, I want to do something different. I lost the passion. I really lost a lot of the passion for doing that anymore. I saw where media was going to. No offense. I hate where media is at now. It's so, I'm not going to get into that. You can see where it's driven. I'm not going to get into media. Ooh, I hate it. I really cringe. That's another reason why I'm like, ooh, the pay was going down too. The reason I want to do it, because of course the passion for it first. Always love sports second. Third, of course, down the lineage because of my dad. And then the main thing, because my dad was a morning show host, worked from 6 to 10 a.m. for the most part. Later, that was his hours. He did like little, little things here and there, like, the remotes, as they called, like live remotes. Like, hey, I'll be out at whatever at noon, or hey, the older he got, though, it was just 6 to, like the last 15 years or so, it was just 6 to 10 for the most part. Here and there he did that, but still, to me, I like that. Dad's an extrovert on radio, introvert in life. I'm an extrovert on radio, extrovert in life. I would, because you get paid talent fee when you go to those things, you're getting extra money. My dad was making $150,000, $200,000 a year. My dad's making $150,000, $200,000 a year. And then he has co-hosts, so it's not like he's talking 4 hours straight. He's got commercials, so it's not like here where it's me talking straight, don't have any. So he just talking about the work he's having to do. I know he has to put show prep in, but you get my point. I'm like, man, geez, he's making $150,000, $200K a year, So, but that all started going down, and they were trying to even tell me that too. So funny, it was like, here's round 2 of that. Trying to tell me when I went up to school for architecture, hey, here's what you're going to have to do, Josh. I ignored it. I lost. Hey, Josh, when I was at KETV Channel 7, when I first am getting, about to be out of school, senior, I went from intern to getting a job there. It's the ABSC affiliate, the ABC. Of course, we all have, ABC, CBS, NBC. So I'm working and they actually are always number 1 in ratings. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm about to take off. I felt like a stock, if you think back then, a stock about to squeeze. Doing great in school. I've got all the hookups, connections. I know people, references. I've already got a job here at ABC. I'm about to blow up. I'm about to get a big job somewhere. I know it. Josh, there's no money in this. Why are you doing this? Your dad should tell you that. Oh, no, there's still some money. Come on. But my dad, I'm like, your dad's a dinosaur, Josh. Like, it just isn't like that anymore. Like, you've got to be like big time. But ignored it. No one wanted to hire me. I stayed there in market until I finally what I thought was my first big, which I was a morning show host. And that was the one where I was making like $25,000, $30K a year right outside Kansas City, Missouri. And so I'm okay. Finally it came. It took 3 months and it took about 4 months. It took about 4 months of me applying nonstop with about 5 maybe offers. Let's see. I think I started major. I took the end of May off because I graduated mid-May. I think I started heavy bore 1st of June, July, August, September, October. So it was 5 months. It was the end of October till I finally got a decent offer. That was like, wow, something. I was just applying away, team, no lie. Cameraman, editor, whatever, just something. Give me a job. What, Mississippi, Louisiana, all these states around me. I was even applying, obviously, as you can tell, different states outside of that. Nothing. I'm like, It just was such a smack in the face. And again, should have listened to him. Should have went elsewhere with my career. But then finally, and then again, after struggle. So I just want to tell you I've struggled. I know if you struggle before, after, now, it's going to happen. I mean, there's very few people that do not. Don't think that all of us were banging and busting chops at this stock market thing right away. None of us were. And it takes a lot of time no matter what you're going to do. Even if I stayed in, broadcast, in radio, TV, what I wanted to do, it would, who knows where I'd be right now, but I would not be where I'm at now, and so that's what I looked at back then. I said, well, if I've lost the passion for this, I'm already kind of struggling at this and it's really hurting my heart. I've got who knows how long, how much I'm going to be making then, but if I could figure this out, the snowball effect is so much greater to where, say, by 40, which I'm getting close to being, this is, say, just back, we'll just say 7 years ago, what's called 7 years ago. I'm like, man, by 40, I want to be making 6 figures a year. I most likely am not going to be the percentage, and I was kind of trying to do the odds, which it wasn't like they were, accurate. But I was looking across the spectrum, essentially, and what people made, what I was doing in broadcast, for me to make 6 figures a year at 40, very low percentage, 10% or less is what I gave it. It was right around 10% or less. This, though, if I gave it my all by 40, to me, it was about a 70% rate. How long? Now, again, if you were successful, I could, but that, like most people, you think you're going to be able to do it. So I never said I couldn't do it, and I never backed down. But it was a road, let me tell you. I just hopefully that helps out to let people know. Tori Trades, that's her, Lisa. I like her. She's good. Like her. She's sweet. Simple. I like her. She's, definitely like I said, nothing too over the top, which I don't like too. I mean, there's just too many to follow anymore, because that's what they want. They want you to sign up for stuff, and that's what I don't want. I'm more of about cheapness and say, hey, here's where it is. They're like, hey, if you want to see and make them blah, sign up for this at $3,000. And I'm like, should I just start charging people $3,000? I don't know. Deck would like that though. See, there was kind of a jerk. But he does good content. Yep. Lisa for sure. Yeah, well, that's what I said. Yeah, that's him. He's kind of like no offense to anybody, I say not getting into politics, but he's kind of someone that speaks your mind, right? I mean, he's just someone that just trendline crack on view, just like that's what I said. You got to be careful with these plays. Trendline starting to crack on view. Getting some pullbacks here. Meta got that shelf crack. Yeah, he's definitely too. I am too, though, sometimes. I'm sorry if I'm ever to the point. I'm strong, very, I wouldn't say opinionated. A lot of stuff I don't really care. But if it's about something I'm passionate about, I'm very passionate about certain things for sure. Hey, we're talking about Michael Jordan. For sure, I know something, what was it earlier? See David Bowie's wife. That's right, Lisa, it was David Bowie's wife, Iman, or I'm in, however you say her name, I can't remember. Many games where LeBron dogged it. Yeah, for sure. MJ could be Bird. I mean, I'm not going to get into all that, though, Ski, but for sure, that's another one, though, for sure. That's another one where I get a little passionate. I'm like, man, And here's my main point. You just go ear to ear. That's how I ever do, how you try to judge. How would LeBron do back then? Now, I think if he wanted to, his shape and size would do great. But if he has the mentality that he has, if you try to play back then when they're hacking left and right, and there's always hard fouls left and right, there's never a flagrants, I don't know how long he's going to last. Michael did fine, right? Okay, but he got the body for it. But does he have the mental state for it? All right, let's reverse this. In the state we're in now, and I've seen so many people from Jalen Rose to who knows all the people that have said, if Michael Jordan played now, he'd average 40 a game. End of story. You get my point. Michael destroyed his era. If he was in this era, he would terrorize fools. He would be like when Tiger Woods had that, it was about a 10-year run, wasn't it? Tiger had about a 10-year run. Really, about a 5 when it was super supreme, when everybody was scared out of their mind. You did not want to be paired with Tiger on a Sunday, I should say, in the final round. You were done. You were dead. You were done. You might as well just go ahead and say, can I just go ahead and just mark it at 4 over and just call it a day? I'm good with that. That's how it was. with Michael, and that's how it would be now if he played. He would have, again, depending on where he was born and what time when he's playing. LeBron wouldn't have no rings. Let's see what the student loan they are today. I would not go to college. Go for a mentor. Yeah, right. Master Blaster. Right. Or if you can, which, again, it would be almost a waste of your time because at that point, and here's all I'd say, maybe what you tried to do did not work out. Because at the age of 23, you can get, at certain ages, you can go to school for free. I ended up going to finishing off my school for free, which was really sweet with grants and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I went around, I was like, I ain't paying, I love education and all, in the right area where you want to learn it, but not re-education, as I call it. I don't want to go to college and have to take 2 parts of history again, 2 parts, comp 1, comp 2, I get what you're trying to do in the basis of trying to, instill these, we need to have people to be able to speak properly. They're not going to, if they don't want to remember it, they're not going to remember it. And so when I'm going to school for history, there's some things that I might remember, but that's not what I want to remember. My brain is not going to want to remember that. What's it going to want to remember? Here's a funny thing. Alex Vaughn sent this to me. I'm going to play this real quickly. Alex Vaughn sent this to me. Well, I'm not even going to play it. Anyway. So Alex Vaughn sent me something. My Uncle Mark, if he's around. That's his uncle. Uncle Mark, if you're around. Anyway, Alex Vaughn, great trader in chat. Really don't see him, unfortunately, as much over the past full year. Hopefully his ass gets back to it soon. I think he's going to. I think he said in 2024. He sent me something the other day. It was like a cartoonish type thing that was put together, but it was or maybe it was just commentary. I can't remember, but I just know the commentary I do remember. And they were British people, if I'm not mistaken, which is really funny because I think he said an American car. Regardless, it was his wife was kidnapped. Oh no! His wife stole his car. I think whatever it was, he couldn't remember what his wife was wearing. What was the last thing she was wearing? Well, what color is her hair? Well, I don't know. She changes that every week, blah, blah, blah. Because sometimes she goes blonde, and sometimes I forgot what it was last time I saw it. He can't remember anything about his wife, which is so funny. Well, tell me a little bit more about the car. Well, the car's got a 457 vibrator, 457 horsepower, 47 horsepower. It just breaks that car down you get my point. You're going to remember what you want to remember in life. And so that's what I don't like about, at least here in the United States. I don't know what it is in other countries. I know some have better schooling, at least a better process of it. But when that re-education is just kind of dumb. You're just kind of you're trying to, what do they say, beat a dead horse, right? That's kind of one of the saying, beat a dead horse, right? It's just not gonna work out. Whatever the saying is you're trying to teach someone that does not want to learn. Let's see, a nice guy. He's I don't give a F. Oh yes, for sure, Lisa, for sure. Yep. Oh yeah, he'll definitely. It gets very few and far between until when I get to that state. It gets few and far between. Under 456 here, if we candlestick confirm and we're trying to look like we're going to, more pullback on the SPY. So under 456 and 455.90. Watch for that VWAP touch here. And Daddy be trading. Let's go over to NVDA. NVDA, there, Myra, Tiger, Tyson, and Jordan. Yeah, that's right. The 3 mics. Well, no, hold on. I was thinking of Michael Jackson. That's right. That's the Biggie song. That's the Biggie song. He says Jordan. What does he say? Jackson, Jordan. I forgot how he goes in that song. Oh my gosh, I forgot the lyrics of the Biggie Smalls song. But yes, all the Jordans. Tyson, Jordan, Jackson. I think it starts with Tyson, but yeah, all the mics. The mics in the 90s that were bad. I mean, imagine 1990. I think Mike Tyson was still the beast in 90. 80, I mean, regardless, the point being when Michael was really, when he finally was a champion, but man. Let's see, NVDA, where is the area? This area was resistant before, should be support. Let's go to NVDA. Yes, 100%. So it was still same much area. So you can see what was support to before this, so we could go down a little bit more. I'll put this line in for you so you can see Daddy B. Daddy be trading. Daddy be trading. That daddy be changing them diapers. Here comes the VWAP on the SPY. We talked about this team. If I could be like Mike, wanna be like Mike. If I could be like... What's funny, because I'm so behind on gaming. Well, literally, I have not bought games since 2017, 18, 19. I can't remember. Honestly, I cannot remember. It's been a while. Maybe I bought some when I first moved in here in 2020. Regardless, I have not bought any, at least since then. And finally got some, like I said, a couple weeks ago. But that's when I got it. I was like, oh, I've got to get last year's, 2K, NBA 2K 23 or whatever, the Jordan version. Currently playing that right now. Definitely one of my faves. Any stocks you guys want me to break down, let me know. I am here for you guys at lunch hours. Like I said, until I start seeing real good movement at lunch, I'm not going to trade anything at lunch. I'm going to start waiting until I see. Now, there was a decent move right here. That's typically when we get it, is this time of the day, right? Now, it happened a little bit earlier, but typically it comes 12:30 my time, 1:30 Eastern time. And now it's not massive, but there is a good little pullback there on the SPY. Good job, and see, Lisa, good job. And see, that's your drop. See, that's kind of your lunch moves here recently. They're not big, but they're money in the bank. They're not big, but they're money in the bank. I would say overall, too, it's been slow and steady, but NVDA's got that nice slow and steady drop. I'm going to go back to a 5-minute here. I want to see that a little bit more, so. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. Man, that was seriously my jam back in the day, that commercial. You had to drink Gatorade. If you did not drink Gatorade as a kid, you were just missing out on life. Making sure we weren't really missing anything in the small cap world. IXHL, okay, I didn't notice that. That was trying to do something during lunch just a little bit ago. That's funny. IXHL, you trying to get all creepy on us over here. Oh, yeah. Good job, though, Lisa. Good job. Q. Yeah, sorry I missed that on the morning voice alerts. I was trying to get the main ones out this morning, team. Mondays always have so much going on honestly in the morning. It's hard for me to get those out early, and so that's usually a typical Monday thing. I do apologize. Tomorrow they will be earlier for sure. Real quickly on Q. Oh man. Kind of like the SPY right now in limbo. You did have the good trend line crack just like you had on the SPY, and then we came on down, slowly matriculated. In my opinion, just like the SPY. Now the SPY hasn't quite got there, and we got really close. But Q. Under the VWAP here, in my opinion, does have some room down to 384, and then down to 383. I need to start trading this Invesco Field at Mile High. I wonder if this is what Invesco, like the company. I wonder if that's who it has to be. I'm guessing. That used to be the Broncos' name when they first opened up the new Broncos Stadium, was Invesco Field at Mile High. I wouldn't go long again, honestly, on QQQ. I would be hesitant with the downtrend break here because it's not too severe into high a day, but you could go for the small micro downtrend break there. It's up over that 386.15 mark. You can see you failed there again, and just over it at 386.35. This has room to really take off, in my opinion, at that point. That's where I'd be looking at YPC. Meta, good to keep fading for the rest of the day. Yeah, I just was looking how Meta was getting some good pullback, but I don't think the rest of the day, in my opinion, I don't see this getting definitely any lower than 314, but I don't see this getting any lower than 315 at this point. This area right through here, kind of right through here. I would say if you crack the VWAP, you're looking much better, Cat. But this was your first good short. That 318.75 shelf crack, you got about $1-ish out of it, right down to this area. The most you'd get, like I said, is probably down to the VWAP at this point. Typically now that was your move at lunch, and now we kind of lull out again, usually for the next hour or so. Have you checked out Midgie? I have not. Mawson Infrastructure Group. Are they gonna build my house for me? Taryn? I have no idea if they're just making stuff up because I'm so pumped to get the house plans, and it'll get exciting, and then it's gonna get not so exciting at the bank. And then it's going to get real exciting again. Let's see here. 180's got room up to it, Terry. I almost want to call you T sometimes, Taryn, but I like Taryn too. But Taryn, room up to about the 180 mark. So you can see right here, we also bounced at about that area in charting. Then was resistance, plus the 200 moving average is there. We do have room up to about that 180-ish area, maybe a tad over it. Now, if we do get over that, I don't even know if 2 holds it down. It might, but if we over 2, we are definitely up to 225, 230. If you're looking for a crack, watch for a shelf crack of 140. I say shelf crack, trend line crack, because the trend line is probably right at about the 140 mark. Plus, its old resistance would be new support. So once that cracks, you're good down to the 130-ish area in the VWAP. Every time I catch a drop, somebody else gets a Christmas present. Yes, they do. If they're smart enough, they catch your bounce, and they go up and they go long. And they got some gifts themselves. And they're going to get that pull in with this year's Christmas bonus. Last night, Christmas Vacation was on. And man, I love Christmas Vacation. Actually, before that, because we talked about this, I think, Lisa, Elf was on before that. And so it was perfect. My 2 favorite Christmas movies that we talked about led right into one another. It was Elf and then it was Christmas Vacation. And I said, hails to the yells. I'm throwing this on. I ain't watching no football. Watching these old movies I've seen 147 times. That's awesome. Daddy B. Oh, Daddy B, we haven't started building yet. So Daddy B, like I said, I'm meeting with the architect / drafter this Tuesday. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. It may be Thursday again because he was actually hunting this weekend. So he said, and sometimes those hunting boys, he kind of does his own thing. He doesn't have to come back, because he makes his own, like me. You kind of make your own job in hours. So he said he'd hit me up Tuesday or Wednesday. And so I was like, man, lucky you. And so he was out in the deer with whatever he was doing. He was out hunting. So point being, Tuesday or Wednesday, he's going to hit me up. I was maybe Thursday again that I get with him. I'm hoping to have it finalized by the end of this weekend. So by Sunday, I can just have a one last good, here's what the house is going to look like. Kind of like the outside, essentially, the inside, and the floor plan. So then the next thing is I'm going to get an appraiser out on the land. The next week, so essentially this time next week I can have an appraiser out there and look forward to that, like on Monday or Tuesday, get an appraiser so they can then point me, and then I'm going to go to the bank. And that's going to be not the fun part. And then the next 2, I see what I'm saying, but I haven't figured out which bank we're going to use yet. But anyway, that'll be the not so fun part for a minute. Not that it'll be, anything bad, but you know what I'm saying, the not so fun part. And then boom, it'll be real fun as soon as we sign everything. And all right, it's a done deal. Congratulations on your land and I'm like right now smiling, like I can't wait to hear that. I'm like my forever home and land, finally. All these years I've been waiting for, hell, an acre or 2. At first I was like, just give me an acre or 2. And then I found the road, because it's, like I said, just a road, which I always wanted. I didn't find it. My buddy, like I said, the general manager of the Dodge Chrysler Jeep place here in town, he told me about it because he, like I said, he's the general. I love him to death. He's real good friends. I got him into trading, and then right as I get him into trading, he's getting good at trading. He then becomes the general manager from sales manager, and then he has no time anymore to trade. He hates it. He's just so busy. He makes hella good money, but he hates being so tied up. But I went up there one day to shoot the shit with him. Oh man, you got to check out our land, blah 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 blah. And so I was like, okay, cool, man. Let me know. I'm gonna go out there and check it out. I know that he's like, I know the owner of the, because he knows that. So now I know the owner of the land, and he also builds houses. Well, lo and behold, he knows my dad, and listen, my dad, like I said, was on radio, and that helps out. That kind of helps out a little bit. He's like, oh man, I loved your dad, and blah blah blah. So he knows and everyone kind of knows my mom, even though they don't know my mom, right? As much, my dad talked about her, even though she was really never on the radio, obviously. And no one probably hardly has ever really ever seen my mom. But for the most part, I got that, in a good relationship. And anywho, so yeah, one thing's leading to the other. And so yeah, I'm ready for that. And that big point being, I found the land, and it was they're all 3 acre lots. And so 3 acre, 3 acre, 3 acre, 3 acre. And I don't know if he would. Figured he would. I'm like, would you do 2? He's like, oh yeah, if you want to do 2, I can do 2. I'm like, oh man, maybe I want to do 2. Because again, which is so funny, and the way that was brought up, was a guy named Rockin' TJ, and he's in chat here and there still, but he's the guy that does all he has like his own shop. He had a shop down the road, was doing lifts all the time, and they said, hey, the owner of the place, Fletcher, who has multiple dealerships, he actually had a horse, he's got tons of money, actually had a horse in the Kentucky Derby this last year, said, hey, how about you just come work down here and I'll build you a shop and you do all that down here for us? Because we want custom vehicles that are, you know, blah, blah. And he was like, okay, deal. Anyway, one day in chat when I was talking about it, he's like, why don't you get two, Josh? So two people, first the GM was like, hey, he kind of led me to it. And then their main guy that does all their lifts for Jeeps and trucks and whatever, and all that, you know, tires and whatever for them, chimed in one day in chat, was like, well, we'll get two of them. And then I was like, well, man, I love the back two. The back two, number 23, and then 24. Of course, Michael Jordan. You can go with Kobe Bryant or King Griffey Jr., but Michael Jordan, right? So I always had 23 on my mind. And I was to see if he made a deal on the back two, on the 24th one. And then lo and behold, luckily that very back left one, all the other lots were really nice and flat. Well, that back left one all of a sudden just starts caving down and really good. Like, I've got to see the height differential, but I would think from where I start out, where my land is, where you'd kind of, you know, where the cul-de-sac at the very back, or the back two lots, where it goes all the way down, it's got to be 20, 30 feet as it goes down, at least, it seems like. And so it's going to be harder for him to sell, right? And so luckily anyway, so not supposed to say that, but he cut me a deal anyway. So yeah, so it was just one thing that led to another. Great guy, but yeah, so first exciting thing will be the floor plan, architect, you know, drafter. So I can be like, oh my God, here's what it's, you know, and kind of be in my mind, like, walking through it in my head, kind of, so to speak. Then after that will be the, you know, adjuster, but then the bank mainly is the big main thing. And then, you know, he was I went to his house last week. I don't know if you saw that video of the land that he had two big lots. Well, he has more, but the two that he's building houses on anyway. And we were kind of going through it and he was walking me through it. But point being, after the bank, yeah, then it's we'll hopefully start kind of that'll be like a Christmas, I mean, not really be a later Christmas present, but that'll be like a Christmas present is like, that's what I want as a Christmas present to me and my wife is done deal. Here we go. Papers are signed, bank, it's approved, over with. You're good to go. Start building. And then that's what I'm like, oh my God, like the joy of thinking that. I'm like, I'm going to be on cloud 17 million trillion infinity, you know, at that point, dude. So anyway, let's see. So now any pictures? No. So yeah, essentially I'll show you this Daddy Beast. I'll show you this real quickly, boss. I don't know if you've seen, any of the pictures from before, and I guess maybe you haven't, but yeah, let me go over stocks and I'll show you a couple pictures. Let's see here. Santa's going to love it, Taryn. And the elf is 20 years old this year. Dang, is it really? It is. 03 to 23, it was. 03 is when it came. I remember that Nate Rage, yeah. Daddy B, when is the date? Sorry, you probably repeat this 10 times a day. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Sorry, I had to step away from a work meeting. Did you review how you traded? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Right away, Taff. Literally right away. So if you want to rewind the stream, or I can go over them again. I can go over them again if you do not want to rewind. I can always go over it again if you don't want to rewind. So I do kind of have this set up right here. So here's kind of what we're looking for with the house, right? So this was the house that we've already looked at. So this is the house that's on that road, actually, that we're going to base a little of ours off of. You know, I want, not all of it, but it'll look like essentially about, let's go back about right there, literally right there. It'll look pretty similar, I bet, to the front of this house. Similar, not like it, but similar to this right here over. And then ours is going to go back this way, where this house kind of goes, and ours will go back like this one does. Wait till you see the back of it here. See, this is like a guest house. We don't need that. Ours will essentially, see how this goes straight back right here? Ours, where I told you it was going to cut off at, so this one had this front little arc area right here. It'll go straight back like this one. And it'll go straight back down that way. I'm making sure I'm doing this right. Cool. And so you can see when you walk into this house, which were the pictures that I've showed off in chat. Nice big, these are 14-foot ceilings, which I definitely want to do. So 14-foot ceilings, definitely what I'm looking for. Like I said, here's kind of pictures of the house and what I'm looking to do. You know, there's kind of more of the rest of the house. And that's the L-shaped back patio, which we're definitely going to have an L-shaped back patio. Here's the road, though. So essentially, here's the road that we're building on. And you can see how it's lots of big, tall trees. Houses are separated, as you can tell here. So you don't have to be like right next to one another. You got plenty of room in between each house, as you can tell here. Plenty of room. Of course, I have no idea I love when that happens. You can't show the whole video. But yeah, man. So that's kind of a little bit of pictures and videos of what we'll be doing. Let's see here. What else do we have? Here's the land, though. So here's like the rest of the picture. So here's like the land. We're at the that road keeps going down. Our lot starts about right here in the middle of. So there's like this line of trees. It's not too thick, and then it gets thin again. Ours will start about right here. and come all the way back down to about right here. See how that opens up right down here? So this will be our land from about right there to right there, all the way to right here, and then over here. So somewhere about right there will be our land. Somewhere in there is our 6 acres, and it's 6 acres. And our house, what we're going to do is, so this, when he said, and he even is like guiding me through it, because he knows all the right way to do it and make it easier and cheaper. He was like, don't put, so essentially build on the 3 and leave this 3 like anyway. So he's, but point being, and that's what we're going to do. So the house is not, I would love to have the house kind of make it all look pretty to where it's perfect and make all, for the road. I don't give a shit. I want to, for me and what I want with my land. So the house is going to be kind of set up about, and you can tell he already tore down trees for the next house, and he tears down the trees for you. So he'll take whatever trees down. He's already made like you can't really tell, but he's already made a Jeep track, which he's going to make a bigger Jeep and ATV track. I'm actually going to have him tear down some trees, like a big line, because I'll eventually want to put a golf hole in there eventually. So there's stuff I'm going to do with this land. But I will have a Jeep ATV track that goes through here. And within that, I will have like a cleared out land to make a little par 3 and a very short par 4. A drivable par 4, like a 268 yard par 4, you know what I'm saying? But the house will be like right here, kind of back, like you can see, backed up off the road. So the house will be about like right through here, with the pool right here and the backyard right through here, so this will be the house and the pool in the backyard right through this area, and then we'll have, this will be land, that'll be all the land right through there. Here's a cool video which you probably missed. There's up above. Where's the drone video of oh, here we go, check it out. I showed this, look at the bird. I think there's a slowed down, here's a slowed down one. I'm literally got the drone up, showing, like, going over my land, and check out the bird that literally flies right, oh, it only 480 is the highest it gets in the slow-mo, right underneath me. Right underneath me, there goes the bird. Here I am, down here somewhere, and you can even see I'm about 500 feet up. You can see how little the dozers in my Jeep look, and that's just kind of to show you the thing, too, when you're backed off here, this far away, 500 feet up in the air. Look how little my Jeep, that's a Jeep Wrangler, and that's a dozer, and how little they look, so yeah. Super pumped about it. Super pumped. Super duper pumped, my friend. But nothing major yet. Nothing major yet. Nothing major yet. So that's what the architect will do this week. Draft or whatever into this weekend. So I've got a couple of different people kind of on it. But the main guy I know. My gosh, crazy how dusty it gets in here. But yes. So there you go, Daddy B. We're getting there. By about, definitely within the next week or two. By the next week or two, I will be showing that off even more for sure. But yeah, it's beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Gorgeous, gorgeous land. Everyone gets 3 acres. All the houses are different. All the big trees. It's just one road. I won't even see the neighbor to the right of me because I'll have trees in the way. And if anything, just because of the trees in front of me and they'll have trees, I'll barely be able to see the 2 houses in front of me. And that's it. I won't be able to see that next house next to them. I'll see the house in front of us, the house in the corner, because those 2 lots will be sold. But this one I probably won't be able to see. And I won't be able to see these neighbors. And then there's nothing back here, so... Whew. That's exactly what I always wanted, though. Something like that along those lines. 100% get out there in 4-wheel, use the Jeeps, walk around, like as if you're at a park somewhere, a natural park, 'cause the trees are just so big and pretty. I have a creek that runs through the back of our lot, too. Or, in that land back there's a creek that runs through, so... Looking forward to it. And like I said, what you missed, too, you missed the vote, Daddy B Trading. Did a vote of doing. I'm gonna do an AKNR. So Deck's doing his. He's got his place out in Utah, and he's doing like a little seminar event or whatever you want to call it, a little get together out. In, he's doing a couple of different one of those. So once the house is built, I'll break it in a little bit for sure. Not just right away, but once the house is built and we break it in, I'm gonna call it the AKNR. And so I'll invite out about 10, maybe 12 traders, 10 to 12 traders, and do the same thing where you can come out and trade live with me for a couple of days, have food. Everything else provided for you, so of course you get the ticket. I think the only thing I have to make sure. I think with you have to do the flight too. I'm gonna make sure that Deck and them. I'm pretty sure he's not providing the flight. They have to pay for the flight, but after that, everything else is paid for. Appreciate it though. Appreciate it, Wahab. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're getting close. Getting close. Let's see here. Wahab. Let's see here. 455.80 crack should be a put opportunity. 455.80. Yeah, right. Yeah, 455.80 in the VWAP. 455.80 in the VWAP. That should go down more. 455.80 in the VWAP. That should go down more. SSNT not done yet. Thank you there, Paula. Thank you there, Paula. Oh, and here's by the way, Daddy B Trading, and then yeah. So here's what I kind of drew up already, and what we're gonna have in the house. The house itself, the main floor is gonna be 2,700 square feet. There's that 4-car. We're gonna do a 4-car garage. We have 4 cars. We're gonna do a 4-car garage. And real quickly, over the 4-car garage, when you come in from it, of course, a little bathroom, the half bath off the main living room. But we're gonna have a staircase that goes up to my new streaming office game room and workout extravaganza, baby, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. We're talking 85-inch TV with every gaming console you can think of, gaming chairs, racing, everything right there in front of you, right? And then on each side, we're going to have a couple of arcades on each side. Then on this wall back here, we're going to have 2. I already have the skee ball machines, baby. Literally 2 of them. Skee ball machine, one by one, side by side, so you can face off against your worst enemy, whoever it is in chat. And then next to that, we've got a hoop 'em, a Denver Nuggets hoop 'em side by side, so you can game it up. I haven't gotten all. I don't know what else I'm going to put up there. I am going to get a pinball machine. I haven't got that yet. Then back in the back here, we're going to have a streaming area with the DJ, as you can see behind me, area set up right over here with the streaming area right back. And then we're going to have the workout area with the full bathroom. It is going to be 600 square feet of man heaven. I guess it's not a man cave because I got to go up. I don't know what that would be. Go up to your doghouse, I guess, essentially. Oh, but you're going to love it. Ladies, too, as well, I promise you. Anyway, so back down to the main portion of the house. You can also just come up the driveway and enter in from the side. Massive living room, like I just showed you, into the kitchen concept, one into the other here. Little desk for Avery, right? Fireplace, big old nice fireplace. Our house is going to come back this way. The feng shui, however you say it, works better for us. We don't have kids. This actually is not going to be a bedroom. I mislabeled that. That should be a bathroom, baby. We're going to have a little Jack and Jill here. This will be the animal room, as we call it, where we'll have our bunnies and our turtles at, kind of out of the sunlight too, so sunlight's not really hitting this room for the turtle aquariums. This will be our guest room, so the guest room will kind of be like that other room. We may even do a front door, so if we ever have guests or just kind of give it that extra look, regardless, if anything, a nice big front window there, but that'll be our guest room. If and when we do have a kid, which I'd love to have a little Josh, his name would be, we already have Dempsey picked out for the boy. Actually, his name is going to be Dempsey MacGyver. We're going to call him MacGyver most of the time in Mac, or maybe Dempsey, we don't know, but MacGyver, Avery loves it. And then Isla will be the girl's name. We don't know what we're going to have yet. Anyway, let's work our way back to the master bedroom where all the magic happens. Inside this huge, massive 18 by 20 foot master bedroom. Living room, by the way, is going to be about 30 by 30, about 900 square feet. Well, living room into kitchen, it'll be about 30 by 30, close to that. This will be about 30 to 30, and this will be that extra about maybe 10 feet that go out for the kitchen or whatever. Anyway, we are putting a safe. That house I just showed you had a safe. We just had a tornado rip through Central Arkansas, literally like freaking a mile from our house, with no lie. F3 tornado this past year. So we're going to put a big 8x12 safe. It is F5 rated essentially, so it's got a big nice steel door. Anyway, so a nice big safe in here. It's big enough for all the animals. So anyways, have that set in there. Master bath that leads back to the big walk-in one master closet with the eyelet in the middle. I want one big. I don't want the his and her closet. I don't want to do that. Anyway, L-shaped back patio porch like you just saw, and then right through here, essentially a fence, little small privacy fence that juts out and comes down this way, then meets up with the big master, or the big fence that comes out, because the fence will come out this way. Then it's going to come down this way, for the rest of the big, massive backyard. But this little area right over here with the little mini fence, this is where our pool is going to be. Don't want it out in the open, where you just have the pool and the dogs run out, and then you got, no. And we'll think about it, but we're really thinking about separating it so we can have the dogs out. They can run around. We don't have to have them bothering us. We can have one of those small little privacy fence gates, and then have a little pool area right over here. So there's the floor plan. Now, it'll look much better come Sunday. This is what I sketched out. He's working on it right now, getting back with me after the deer woods, and then we go from there, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so there's the update on Timber Creek team. Any last questions? Anything you guys want to go over? Tomorrow, I have back-to-back one-on-ones in the morning. I will have to do my best to try to get alerts out for you guys. I'll have back-to-back one-on-ones, so I'll try to get my alerts out. Now, they may not be rapid fire, but I'll do my best. Just like this morning, which this morning was perfect. My alerts were actually out before the opening bell, so you knew exactly what to trade. You had five tickers, team. 4 in large caps, 1 in small cap. I traded them all. You could have traded 5 tickers with me. I was 5 for 5 today, trading 5 different tickers, and I'll try to do my best tomorrow. Now, it's not going to be that way every day. Tomorrow it may just be 3 tickers. Could just be 2, but I have it, narrowed down at the opening bell for what you guys need to trade, 100%. So I will definitely get that out there. Also, if you want any help at the opening bell, besides that, and then moving forward for the rest of the day, here are my morning voice alerts. I've been doing these since August. They're getting better and better and better and better and better of finding not only what to trade at the opening bells, levels to use for the rest of the day, but finding your high of day and low of day in the main reversal areas that you need to be looking for. From small caps to all the large cap plays that you can think of that we're looking at in chat. SPY, Apple, AMD, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVDA, Netflix, QQQ, Tesla. I break them down day in, day out. Like I said, up and down, all across the board, not only what to trade, but where to be looking to trade for the rest of the day. And then again, the one-on-one help team, if you ever need any help from me, I've been doing these one-on-ones, like I said, for almost 3 years now. It's well over 2.5 years that I've been doing these. So if you need any help, there's again, not many traders out there that do these one-on-ones. And if they do them, they're charging a lot more for the individual time. So again, I'll be doing them for about 1.5 years, maybe at most, somewhere in there. Take advantage while I'm doing them. Like I said, still have sales going on while I'm still doing the sales or while I'm still doing them. Like I said, I've been doing them for almost 3 years now. We'll definitely continue them in through 2024 into 2025, but probably not too much longer. So you still got another year and a half to take advantage of those, doing the one-on-ones. And I am going to do a group one soon and offer group Zooms as well. So if you would like to pay less and not spend the whole, whatever, $80, $90, $100 or whatever it is for one individual one, I will eventually offer 5 at a time. So it'll be 5 that you can sign up for, and almost like a trip, so to speak. Once all the seats get filled, and that trip takes off. And so once it gets filled and the date gets, there'll be a date set way ahead of time and say, hey, if you want to get filled for this, it needs to get filled, or it'll have to go, and whatever, if it doesn't get filled, then it'll just go to the next one. So like say December 15th, do the group session with AK, the 5-packs. It'll be, or the 5, whatever, however I'll label it. So 5 of you guys can come over and do a one-on-one with me for an hour, trade with me, go over stuff, whatever you want to do, ask me questions, etc. And I'll charge like 50 or something, or 40, or I don't know. I'll come up with a number, and that way, if maybe 4 of the 5 get booked and not all 5 do, it'll just go the next date, December the 30th at this time, and then all I need is just one more, and it gives it that much more time to then fill. Yeah, be careful with SSNT. It's just still a little too choppy, lower volume overall. You just got to be careful with SSNT 100%. All right, Lost Boys, Lost Girls, I'm out for the rest of the day. I do have actually back-to-back one-on-ones and after hour, power hour and after hour. So if you do need anything, I'm around. It's not like I'm out for the rest of the day, but trading-wise, definitely, as you can tell this morning, kind of clonking them out of the park in the first 10, 15 minutes. Done for the day after that. Most days, I'm very rarely going to see, be trading when I have that many trades in the first few minutes and have won them all and that profitable. I advise you guys to do the same. Any day you're that profitable in the first 5, 15, even 30 minutes of the market open, sit on your hands for the rest of the day. Find some discipline and patience in your brain, knowing you can have the discipline not to take any more trades because you're up, and the patience to wait for tomorrow to do the same thing again. Lost Boys, Lost Girls. I don't know. So it'll be to just add 5 minutes. So it halted down at 57 after and 45 seconds. It would go live at 2 after and 45 seconds. If it's not a 5-minute halt, we're going to a 10-minute halt, which would then take it to 7 after and 45 seconds, Daddy B. Daddy B trading. So Daddy B, you got to get that ass down south when I got that AKNR, baby boy. I want to see you. I've already got the meals planned out for the AKNR. I've already got the meals planned out. You want to come over, do a big old cannonball in the pool. You know you want to. Big old cannonball in the pool. Drive some 4-wheelers and eat some good barbecue, and then all kinds. I got every day lined up. Every day lined up, baby boy. I'll let you come in and you can get on the bed with me if you want to. We're doing one of these massive. There's a 10-foot. They make a 10-foot and a 12-foot bed. So we're getting one of these massive 10 or 12 feet beds. I don't know if I took it on. We're looking at refrigerators. We're looking at all kinds of stuff, baby. I got all kinds of stuff in there planned. Now, here's the bed. And here we go. There's the 10-footer. So there's the 10-footer you can see here. Oh, yeah. We're going at least 10. We may be going 12. At least going 10 foot. Could be going 12, though. 100%. That's a done deal. Oh, I can't wait. Maybe let you just come sleep with me for a little bit. For like 10 minutes. I got to wake your ass up. Get out of my bed. All right, Lost Boys, Lost Girls. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Again, if you need anything, I am around for the rest of the afternoon, so I'll kind of chime in here and there. Otherwise, tomorrow morning is when I'll be majorly alerting again for trades. Have a great rest of your day. Be patient. Find the best setups, team. Do not overtrade. Do not force here for the rest of the day. Your better, higher quality setups are always win the first 2 or so hours of the day. Lost boys, lost girls, until tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. Let's get some more Michael Bublé Christmas going here. A lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Hey, I need a little cigar and maybe a little drink of my whiskey, maybe. All right, lost boys, lost girls. Let's get a lot like Christmas.
For school to start again, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, there's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Sure, it's Christmas once You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I am telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I am telling you why. 'Cause Santa Claus is coming to town. You when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming, I mean the big fat man with the long white beard. He's coming to town. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. As in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. So hang a shining star above the highest bough, yourself a merry little Christmas now. Have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. Now I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you. Kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Singing deck the halls, but it's not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here and all the fun we had last year. Pretty lights on the tree, I'm watching them shine. You should be here with me. Baby, please come home. Singing deck the halls, not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here and all the fun we had last year. Oh, if there was a way, I'd hold back these tears. Oh, but it's a Christmas day. Santa baby, slip a Rolex under the tree for me. I've been an awful good guy, Santa buddy, and hurry down the chimney tonight.